If you are a brand new real estate agent, you just got your license, you chose a broker, what's like the first thing that you need to start doing? And actually, you can start doing this before you even take your test or before you pick a broker. And that is start building your database. Now, what is your database? Your database is going to be a group of contacts and information of people that like and trust you, hopefully, right? This could be family members, could be friends, uh, relatives. We'll go over a list of the type of people that could be in your list. But the most important thing is that you start building this database because that's where you're going to be able to get referrals. You're going to be able to put your past clients as you start selling homes into this list. And this is something that you can do. It's free. Hopefully, the company that you join or will be joining has a CRM or customer relationship management system. But if you don't have one yet or you still haven't set it up, the easiest way to start is with an Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to show you how you can kind of set that up super easily and again for free, right? Because if you're a new agent, maybe you're at it full time, but maybe you're at it part time, right? So you're trying to, save some money and maybe spend the money you would spend in some technology, spending on other things first. So let me show you what I am talking about. This is a very simple spreadsheet. I mean, if you want me to send it to you, I'm happy to. Just send me an email or reach out to me. And my first recommendation is like, start out with 25 contacts, right? If you have more, that's fine. As you're putting people in here, if you don't have their email or phone numbers, if you just have like their name or any information you have, just put it in there. You can always get it later and update it. So the first thing you need obviously is a first name, last name, email, phone number, and home address. The email is going to be important because, periodically you want to be in touch or in contact with this person and you want to send them valuable items or items of value. You always want to send your database valuable information. If it's not valuable to them, then don't even send it because you're gonna, bug them. You're gonna fill up their email, so just don't even do it. And we're gonna talk about how to send items of value and things that they're gonna value, right? So that's email, phone number. You should at least once a month or maybe quarterly give them a phone call, see how they're doing. Just reach out. I'm a big believer of, especially if the person you're calling maybe has a business, or if you call with the idea that you want to help them and just ask them like, hey, how are things going? Let's say with work, or, what are some things that I can help you with? Um, that will always come out well. And then the person you're talking to is going to want to reciprocate that and say, hey, Joe, or, how's your business going? How's real estate? And then you can talk about that. Or maybe they might say, how can we help you with your business? So it's all about helping people. You don't have to be a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like to be sold, and I don't like to like be selling people stuff. So that's the phone number, and then the home address. Home address is important because from time to time you can maybe once a month or at the beginning maybe every like quarter just send them a little card, or if you have a good conversation with someone, or maybe you had a really good lunch meeting and you want to thank them for their time, or for any reason you can send them a card maybe for the holidays. So that's why it's important that you have all this information so that you can be in contact. So now that we've kind of talked about that, try to get 25 contacts. That would be amazing. And then the goal is, every week or every month, your goal is to add more people, right? So, okay. So now let's talk about who are some of these people you can add. So friends, relatives, your neighbors, past customers. So if you're a new agent, then maybe you don't have past customers. But let's say that you're coming from a different business or career. Maybe you have clients that used to work with, right? Maybe you can add those to your database and then start communication with them. Past coworkers, doctors, chiropractors, dentists. So I mean, basically here you see a list of all the people that you can start adding, right? So start working on this, and that'll be amazing. And then the other thing that I always tell agents is start networking with realtors from within your own company, or realtors that maybe are not in your company, but maybe maybe the realtor that sold you your home if you own a home, right? Start networking with them, and start also in theory you're going to be competitors, right? But start, building connections. Maybe one of those realtors has a home that they're going to do an open house, and maybe they'll be willing for you to do an open house for them. So it'll be a good opportunity for you to get that experience of doing an open house, meeting potential buyers. So that's one thing. Or maybe they want you to, maybe they need someone to do a showing, and right, and typically you should get paid if you're doing a showing for someone else, and get some more experience that way. So make sure that you have contact with at least 3 realtors, that you have a good connection with. Um, and then also make sure you have insurance agents, right? So when you're working with a buyer or a seller, oftentimes they may ask you for a recommendation, probably mostly with buyers, but ask you for recommendations for insurance agents. So having some really good agents to recommend and refer would be very helpful. And it would make you look good because it shows that you have contacts within the industry. Home inspectors, the same way. When you have your first buyer, and most likely they'll want to do a home inspection, you have some options, right? Mortgage lenders, the same thing, right? You want to have mortgage lenders, photographers. So if you're going to do a listing, hire a photographer. It's worth it. Don't try to do it with your phone. um, yeah, so just meet some photographers, staging companies. So for this one I would say, if you can have a staging company contact and maybe meet with them. And as you're meeting, so the goal is, as you're meeting with all these people from these different areas of the real estate industry, again, provide value to them. Ask them like, hey, what are some of the challenges that you're currently facing? What are some things that maybe I could do to help you? Who's your like target clients? And try to really be a resource to them. And if you do that in return in the future, I'm sure they will help you as well. Maybe they won't give you referrals right away, or maybe they'll never give you a referral, but when you refer them a client, they're going to treat them very well. And that's what you want to, that should be the goal. So, and then the last one I have here. So, nonprofit home ownership organization. So, where I live, and in many places, there's nonprofit organizations that help people with budgeting, with debt, helping them with the home buying process. Yeah, a lot of times they have down payment assistance, and a lot of times they'll do like home buying classes, and they'll typically invite an insurance agent, a realtor, or lenders. So this would be, if there's one in your area, just Google it. Home ownership organizations in wherever you live, right? Um, you might be able to connect with them, and then if you can teach those classes, I've done that in my area where I live here in Rochester, Minnesota, and I've gotten several clients from doing that. So those would be a couple options. There's obviously more options and things that you can do for outreach, but these are just kind of like a good starting point of where you could start at, right? Now once you have some people in your database and you have some connections here, and again, realtors or insurance agents, the people that you're kind of meeting here that are professionals in the industry, you can add them to your database as well. Get their name, email, phone number, home address, all that. And then what you're going to start doing is, well, the first like email or information you should send out is announcing that you're a brand new realtor, right? Tell them about maybe a little bit about why you decided to become a real estate agent. Tell them maybe a little bit about your company. And again, this doesn't have to be anything crazy or wild, just bullet points or something specific that will add value to them, right? And then introduce you, or introduce that you're a realtor, and kind of send that quick announcement. And again, if you can provide something of value, maybe send them kind of a snapshot of what's going on in the real estate market. Maybe offer that you'll be willing to, if they're homeowners, you're willing to do a free CMA or comparative market analysis for their property. Give something of value. Start that way, right? So that'll be your first like email. But then after that, every month you should try to send a market update. Sometimes people will do a market update where it's just kind of statistics on a PDF or on an email, kind of basic, which I guess that's fine. But in a perfect world, what I would recommend, what I do is I'll do a video of myself talking about the market, talking about, what's going on, kind of what we saw the last month, where we are right now, and then what we project in the future. And if you're a new agent, this could be maybe intimidating. Maybe you're not sure where to even find this information. So that's where maybe talking to your broker, or an agent that you're close with, where they can say, hey, this is where you can get all this information. And we'll talk a little bit more about what kind of information, but pretty much like, new listings, what's the average price in your market. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But having that information and be able to send this monthly email, because right now the market, it's, kind of a little while, right? In 2022 was a pretty good year, but rates started to go up, and then demand started to soften a bit, right? And now we are in this, as of the recording of this video, it's February 2023. Rates were at like 7%. They came back down. They're now anywhere between 5 to 6, depending on how many years and type of loan that you get. But there's not that many homes because people that got the low rates are not selling like really fast because they don't want to go from a low rate to a high rate. Anyways, so right now there's a lot of demand, or in the spring demand starts to pick up, and there's not enough inventory right now because we're coming from like the holiday, or not holiday, but like the winter time. So it'll be a very interesting spring market. But you having this type of knowledge, if someone says, hey, hey Joe, what's the average price in your market? I know that in my market it's about $290,000. I know that in the peak of the summer, of the busiest time of the year, last year it went up to like 330. So the market has shifted, right? We're like 290. I know, the average like price per square foot is about $160. So the more information you'll get more confidence, and then you'll be able to better speak about the market. So I guess that's the point. Send an email about this once a month, and that'll help start establishing that knowledge. And then the other thing that I would do is, and this might take a little bit more work. You don't necessarily have to do a video for this, but if you are in a your community, it's make it local. Make an email with maybe like one thing that's going on within the next week or so, and then maybe a couple other things, events, or maybe a new restaurant came out or something. Just make it fun, right? It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just make it fun, and then send that information. If you do this once a month, right? Or the local events news, maybe you can do that every week, or maybe every 2 weeks, or whatever. Maybe not as often. Um, maybe not like weekly, but if you do this, you'll start to get that reputation of being a local real estate agent, having market knowledge. And so this would be helpful. Okay. So now let's take a look at, let's see here. So monthly market update. Okay. So, I'm a statistics guy. I'm kind of a visual person. I'm also a finance person. So whatever. But basically, when people are wondering about the real estate market, they're thinking, okay, prices and interest rates. That's what they're kind of thinking. Oh, when are prices going down, or are they going up, and what are rates? So basically, if you ever took an economics class, you know that supply and demand is what determines prices, right? So the main factors that affect demand are days on the market, or that reflect, I should say, reflect demand, are days on the market. How long are homes lasting? If they're lasting a long time, then the demand is not very high. Median average sell price, or either or median or average sell price. The higher that is, or the higher, it's all relative, but as you see the average sell price going up, that signifies demand. This is another one that's good, the percentage of original sell price. So if you list your home for 100,000, is it going to sell for 100? Is it going to sell for 105? Or is it going to sell for like 95? So having this number, or knowing what the kind of average is, will be very helpful. And obviously, like, knowing all this statistics is not just good for you to tell clients, or prospective clients, but it will also help you be a better realtor, because then and real estate is cyclical. So throughout the year, it's things are cyclical, and you'll start noticing that year after year. The median price per square foot. This would be helpful, like if you're showing a house, right, and let's say it's 300,000, and someone asks you like, hey, is this house well priced or not? If you just divide the price by the square foot, and let's say here in Rochester is about $160 a square foot, and this house is at $200 a square foot, that house better be either in a really good location, nicely updated, or there has to be a reason why it's higher than the median or average price per square foot. If the house is priced, lower than the median, then there's probably some things lacking, or maybe it's a good deal. So kind of knowing that will help you also be a better realtor. Let's look at supply. So supply is basically new listings and homes for sale. So if there's a lot of new listings coming, that means there's a higher supply. If and vice versa, if there isn't, then right now the supply is low. Right now, like for the month of December, we have 50% less listings than December of last year. Now this may not be the same in your market, but it's going to be a challenge, I think, this spring for buyers because there's not many homes. There's a lot of demand. So and then interest rates, know the interest rates for 30 years or 15 years. Eventually, also, like, if you have an idea of what a adjustable rate mortgage or an ARM rate is, that'll be helpful, especially as interest rates have gone up. A lot of buyers are doing ARMs, maybe a 5-year ARM. So it'll be amortized over 30 years, but the interest rate will be for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, depending on what you pick. And so if you think that rates are going to come down in the next 5 years, then doing an ARM would be, make sense. So, and again, when you're meeting with, let's say you're meeting with a mortgage lender, these are great questions to ask. Or maybe the mortgage lender might have like a monthly email they send to their clients about the market. Have them add you to that email so that you also know what's going on. Or you can find. I use like one of the local banks here. They have a every day they update what rates are, and I look at that. Maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, or if someone asks me or whatever, I'll take a look at that, and that's how I stay up to date with what's going on. Okay, so I think 16 minutes. Hopefully you're finding value. If you're still watching this, that's amazing. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what questions you have on the comments below. If you're a new agent and you have any questions, maybe that has nothing to do with your database, let me know. I'd love to help you. And yeah, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.